When I plan a thing, it takes place. Wait, where are you going?
I'd just like to see who's on the other side of that screen, that's all.
Good evening, Miss Levi.
Well, who was this?
Oh, just some city sparks entertaining their girls, I guess.
Always curious about everything. Always poking your nose into other people's business. Anybody who lived with you would get nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said anybody who lived
Horace Vandergelder, get that idea right out of your head. I'm surprised you even mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intention of marrying you.
Dolly, that's not what I said at all.
Well, you've been hinting around such a thing for some time, but understand now that I have no intention of marrying you, so get that idea right out of your head.
Dolly, you misunderstood me.
I certainly hope I did. Mr. Vandergelder, you go your way, and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a pot of geraniums. Why, the idea of you even suggesting such a thing.
Mrs. Malloy, Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
I certainly hope I did. Let's not talk about it anymore. Oh, here's August with our food. Oh, sorry, August. All right. Here's some white meat for you and some giblets. Very tender, very good for you. No, Mr. Vandergelder, as I said before, you go your way and I'll go mine. Oh, start right in on the wine. I think you'll feel better at once. But since you brought the subject up, there is one more thing I am going to say.
I didn't bring the subject up at all.
We'll forget about it in a moment. Just sit down, sit down. There is one more thing I ought to say. Yes, I'm a woman who likes to arrange things, like to know everything that's going on. You're right about that. However, I would not like to manage something as disorderly as your household, as disorganized, as untidy. You can do that yourself, God helping you.
Oh, my house is not untidy.
Very well, we won't talk about it anymore. Here, take some more of those potatoes, they're good. No, Mr. Vandergelder, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you is no sort of companion for me. You go your way and I'll go mine.
Would you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Besides, I'm not those things you said I am.
What? Well, I guess you're friendless. Ermengarde told me you even quarreled with your barber this morning, a man who's held a razor to your throat for 20 years. That's sinking pretty low to me.
Well, but my clerks, they...
They like you? Cornelius Hackle and that Barnaby? Behind your back, they call you Wolfentrap.
Oh, they don't.
No, Horace, it seemed as though I were the last person on earth who liked you, and even I'm so-so. For the rest of my life, I intend to have a good time. You can find some housekeeper who will make you 3 meals for $1 a day. It can be done if you like cold baked beans. No, Horace, a complaining, quarrelsome friend like you is no sort of companion for me. You'll spend your last days listening at keyholes for fear that someone's cheating you.
Dolly, you're a damn exasperating woman.
See, that's the difference between us. I'd be nagging at you all day to get some spirit into you. You could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to be.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are. Look at you now. You can't hide it.
Listening at keyholes. Dolly, you have no right to say such things to me.
At your age, you ought to enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age? All you ever talk about is my age.
I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up in Yonkers, with bad temper and bad food, you'll double it in 6 months. Now, let's talk of something else. But before we leave the subject, there is something I am going to say.
Please don't.
Sometimes, just sometimes, out of sheer pity, I'm tempted to marry you. And if the confusion in your household gets any worse, I may have to.
Dolly, I haven't asked you to marry me.
Well, please don't.
And my house is not in confusion.
What? With your niece Ermengarde upstairs in this restaurant, right now.
Oh, I fixed that better than you know.
And your clerk skipping behind your back in New York.
They're in Yonkers where they always are.
Nonsense.
What do you mean, nonsense?
Cornelius Hackle's on the other side of that screen right this minute.
It ain't the same man.
Go on, knock it over. See for yourself.
Fine. No, I don't believe it.
Very well. Sit down, sit down. Of course, Horace, if your affairs went from bad to worse and you became actually miserable, I would feel as if it were my duty to come up to Yonkers and be of some assistance to you. After all, I was your wife's oldest friend.
Dolly, I don't know where you ever got any such notion in your head. Now, no, once and for all, I have no intention of marrying anybody. Now, I'm tired and I don't want to talk to you.
I won't say another word either.
Irene, I think you better go.
No. You boys put on our coats, hats. And that way, if he comes stomping over here, he'll think you're girls.
What? Those things?
Yes. Come on.
Oh, I've had a bad day. I'm going to go back to Miss Fancusen's house and then I'll go back to the hotel. Just let me give you the money to pay for this. I'll just give you the money to pay for this and, I've lost my purse.
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
Or I left it in the cab. Why, they don't know me at the hotel. I won't be able to pay for it. Stop being so chicken. I can't pay for it.
Horace, sit down and calm yourself. I'll be able to find some money.
money?
I gave you $25 this morning.
I haven't a cent. I gave it all to my lawyer. We can borrow from Ambrose Kemper upstairs.
I wouldn't take it.
Cornelius, how can we lend it to us?
He's in Yonkers where he always is. Waiter!
Wait a minute, Cornelius, is this Mr. Vandergelder's purse?
Well, I didn't know it myself. I thought it was just loose money walking around that didn't belong to anybody.
Oh, goodness, that's what politicians think.
Waiter!
This is my boy. Doesn't Barnaby make the most wonderful girl? Well, why should we have our evening spoiled? Cornelius, I can teach you to dance in a few minutes. Oh, don't worry, he won't recognize you. Barnaby, it's the easiest thing in the world.
Horace, you danced with me at my wedding and you danced with me at yours. Do you remember?
No. Yes.
Oh, listen to that music. Don't confess to me that you're too old to dance.
Oh, I'm not too old. I don't want to.
Horace, remember those dances at Saturday nights at the firehouse in Yonkers? You gave me a fan. Come on.
Why? Not another word out of you. You're discharged. I never want to see you again. And where's that idiot Barnaby? He's fired too. And you're discharged.
You're discharged!
You're discharged! Why? I'll lock you up for the rest of your life, young lady. I'll throw you in jail.